Hafa day and welcome back to Weekend Edition. And this is Rehash, where we recap the big stories of the past week. And I'm not sure, maybe Nick should go first.
Yeah, of course. We are talking about one of the biggest, high-profile cases involving Mark Torre Jr., the former Guam police officer. He, of course, took the witness stand this past week. There, we heard it from his very own mouth that he claims he didn't pull the trigger when the bullet that hit Officer Bert PLO and ultimately led to his unfortunate death. But then also he said that he had blacked out. So there was a lot of developments there saying that he couldn't remember a lot of the events that played out that night. And then closing arguments, that's coming up next week or coming up this week. So we'll see how that goes.
And then jurors are being deliberations and then we wait. Ken.
Oh, so my story, we got to visiting congressional delegations on Guam this week. They were led by Utah Congressman Rob Bishop. He's the chairman for the Natural Resources Committee, and this is the actual committee that has jurisdiction over the territory. So they just came from the Sinai and from American Samoa, and Guam was their last stop. They met with Guam lawmakers and military officials just to discuss some issues because it's in their committee, and they spoke about like the H-2B visa crisis, the military buildup, of course, and war reparations. They also had a wreath-laying ceremony at the Aston Bay Overlook, so they got to meet with some of the war survivors and also pay their respects. So this is the first congressional delegation to make their way to Guam for this new year. As you know, previous years they always come. So Congresswoman Madeline Delgado said this was actually at their request to come to Guam, and she hopes to bring more for the rest of this year.
And Issa, will DOE Superintendent John Fernandez be returning back to work?
Okay, well, that's the big question, and of course they're actually talking about that over the weekend. John Fernandez is meeting with some nominees from GEB, so they're discussing some final issues. I know there was some discussion about his legal fees and who would be paying that. So that's we're still not sure yet, but of course stay tuned to KOAM. We'll have more. One more thing I wanted to mention was, speaking of visitors, we have actually around 2,000 military service members in Guam right now over the next couple weeks for Cope North. So I got a chance to take a refueling flight on a KC-135, and it was so cool seeing, they're flying in the air 300 miles per hour, and you see two planes only 20 to 30 feet away from each other. So during the refueling process, it was really cool. Of course, you can catch more of that on KOAM, and the exercise ends on March 3rd.
In the action.
Gas station in the air. And myself, big developments in the church suit. 4 more plaintiffs are suing the Archdiocese of Agana and the Vatican for child sex abuse that occurred decades ago. And what's interesting enough is that all 4 of the new plaintiffs are accusing Father Louis Brilliard. We've heard this name many times. His number of accusers actually continues to grow, and he's actually the only priest that so far that's admitted to committing these crimes. But he does not remember the names or how many boys, but he does admit to molesting boys while he was in Guam decades ago. Again, he continues to receive $300 monthly stipend from the Archdiocese of Agana. The 4 new plaintiffs, this brings total of 22 people who filed suit against the Archdiocese of Agana. And if you've been following, we're expecting to actually see that 17 number. We're expecting to see like 40, 50 people file suit against the Archdiocese of Agana. Wow. And so we'll probably have more developments over the week as we're anticipating more firms to actually file in the District Court of Guam. And for any more news, or if you have any news tips for us here at KUAM, email us at reporters@kuam.com. It's that simple.